The year was 1997. A new cinematic adventure began. It was titled The Lost World Jurassic Park. The acclaimed director Steven Spielberg returned. He brought us back to the world of dinosaurs. This story unfolded 4 years after the first park's disaster. A new island, Isla, held a secret. This was a Site B where dinosaurs were bred. They now roamed free, a wild ecosystem. Life, as they say, had found a way. John Hammond, the creator of the original park, appeared. He was older now, perhaps a little wiser. He had a new vision for his creations. He wanted to preserve Isla, a place where dinosaurs could live without human interference. He wished to document these magnificent creatures, to show them to the world in their natural state. He believed this could change humanity's view. He needed a team. He needed Dr. Ian Malcolm. A difficult task lay ahead for them. Dr. Ian Malcolm was a mathematician. He had survived the horrors of Jurassic Park. He was understandably hesitant to return. The memories of terror were still fresh. However, his concern for another drew him in. Dr. Sarah Harding, a paleontologist, was already there. She was his girlfriend, passionate and brave. Malcolm knew the dangers she faced alone, so he agreed to go to this lost world. Rescue and research became intertwined missions. The team arrived on the mysterious Isla. With Malcolm were Eddie Carr, an equipment expert, and Nick Van Owen, a video documentarian. At first, the island seemed like a paradise. Herds of stegosauruses moved gracefully. Tiny Compsognathus scurried through the undergrowth. The beauty was undeniable, a prehistoric dream. But this was a land where giants ruled. The tranquility was deceptive. Danger lurked beneath the verdant canopy. Soon, another group arrived on Isla. This was not a scientific expedition. It was an operation by InGen, Hammond's former company. Peter Ludlow, Hammond's ambitious nephew, led them. Ludlow was now the CEO of InGen. He had a different plan for the dinosaurs. He saw them not as wonders, but as assets. He intended to capture these creatures. His goal was to bring them to a new Jurassic Park. This park would be in San Diego. Dr. Malcolm's small team observed with dismay. Their mission was to observe and protect. InGen's mission was to exploit and capture. A conflict was inevitable on this island. Sarah Harding was already documenting the animals. She believed in letting them live naturally. Nick Van Owen also shared this sentiment. Eddie Carr focused on keeping them safe with technology. The ethical questions were profound. Should humans interfere with this reborn world? Nick and Sarah decided to take direct action. They felt they had to stop InGen's plan. During the night, they infiltrated the InGen camp. They began to release the captured dinosaurs. Cages were opened and animals set free. The InGen hunters were caught by surprise. Chaos erupted in their well-equipped base. This act of sabotage had immediate consequences. It saved some dinosaurs from captivity, but it also stirred the anger of others. The most dangerous consequence involved the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Nick and Sarah had brought an injured baby T-Rex to their trailer. They wanted to mend its broken leg. This well-intentioned act drew its parents. 2 adult T-Rexes, powerful and protective, arrived. They attacked the team's mobile research trailers, pushing them towards the edge of a high cliff. It was a terrifying and desperate struggle. Eddie Carr bravely tried to save his friends. He fought valiantly but met a tragic end. After the terrifying T-Rex attack, survival was paramount. The survivors from Malcolm's team were shaken. The InGen team had also suffered losses. Both groups were now stranded and vulnerable. They had to work together to escape Isla. Their only hope was to reach an old communications center. This center was located in an abandoned worker village. The journey would be perilous, through dense jungle filled with unseen threats. Trust was fragile between the two groups. One of the greatest dangers they faced was the velociraptors. These intelligent predators were masters of the hunt. The survivors had to cross a field of tall grass. It was a perfect hunting ground for the raptors. Silently, the raptors stalked them. One by one, members of the InGen team fell. The air filled with screams and the rustle of grass. It was a scene of pure primal fear. Dr. Malcolm and his companions fought to stay ahead. Each step was fraught with extreme tension. They finally reached the abandoned InGen worker village. The communications center was their goal, but the village was not empty. Velociraptors had made it their nesting ground. The fight for survival continued indoors. The raptors were cunning and relentless. They hunted through the dilapidated buildings. Sarah, Malcolm, and Kelly, Malcolm's daughter, faced them. Kelly, surprisingly, used her gymnastic skills. She managed to defeat one of the attacking raptors. Eventually, Nick Van Owen reached the communications equipment. He managed to send out a distress signal. Help was finally on its way. InGen helicopters arrived, but not just for rescue. Ludlow, ever the opportunist, saw his chance. He ordered his remaining men to capture targets of opportunity. They managed to tranquilize the adult male T-Rex. They also secured its infant. Ludlow believed his San Diego Jurassic Park was still possible. He celebrated, unaware of the disaster to come. The captured male T-Rex and its infant were put on a cargo ship. The ship was bound for San Diego. Ludlow envisioned a grand opening for his new park. However, the journey across the ocean was not smooth. When the ship arrived, it was eerily silent. It crashed into the city's dock. Authorities boarded only to find a horrifying scene. The entire crew was dead, victims of an onboard terror. The cargo hold was somehow open. The adult T-Rex was gone. Chaos erupted on the streets of San Diego. The mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex was loose in a major city. It wandered confused and agitated through urban streets. Cars were crushed and people fled in terror. This was a nightmare scenario come to life. Dr. Malcolm and Dr. Harding knew they had to act. They understood the animal's behavior better than anyone. They realized the T-Rex was likely searching for its infant. It was parental instinct driving its rampage. They devised a daring plan to lure it back. Using the infant T-Rex as bait, they drew the adult. They led it back towards the cargo ship. Their goal was to contain both creatures, to get them safely back onto the vessel. During the ensuing chaos, Peter Ludlow met his end. He tried to recapture the infant in the ship's hold. He became trapped, and the T-Rex's parent and child cornered him. His ambition had led to his own demise, a stark lesson about underestimating nature's power. The dinosaurs were not mere theme park attractions. With both T-Rexes secured on the ship, a crisis was averted. The creatures were escorted back to Isla Sorna. The island was declared a strict nature preserve. John Hammond made a public plea. He asked the world to leave these animals in peace, to let this lost world remain lost. Dr. Malcolm, Sarah, and Kelly returned home changed by their ordeal. They had witnessed nature's awesome, terrible power. The lesson was clear. Some things are best left undisturbed. Life, indeed, could not be contained.